Okay, so good day, class.
Good day, sir.
Okay, now we're going to discuss time words for and the time word scenes. Okay, we've discussed this last meeting, but we focused on the rules of these time words, and now we're going to discuss these time words based on the examples. And again, I am teacher Ricky, and before we proceed to our lesson proper, let me ask you, how are you? How are you doing, class?
I am fine, sir. Thank you for asking. How
Okay.
about you, sir?
I'm also fine. Thank you for asking, Jesseline. And I hope you won't get bored in this discussion due to this time. Okay, now before we proceed, let's have a little review time. Okay, on what we had discussed last time. We've discussed that time words are the words that refers and signifies time in general. It could be a specific starting point of time in the past, or it could be a duration of time in the present, in the past, or in the future. Okay? And it could be a time span also. That's a quick review from what we had last time. And our agenda or objectives for today, first, kindly read, Jesselyn.
Identify the pattern, rules by examining the examples given.
Later on, I'll present sentences, and what you are going to do is to examine these sentences on how those time words, the time word for and the time word scenes, is being used. Okay, and the second one or the last objective for today is to apply the rules by constructing your own sentences. So as we go through the lesson for today, I hope that you're gonna learn something, and by that you could apply the rules or the pattern and in constructing sentences with appropriate use of time words. Okay, is that clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now that I heard that you are fine, you're good, and you are in a mood to learn something, I want you now to examine these sentences. Okay, I'll gonna read sentences one and two. The sentence number one, Tyne entered college since June. Sentence number two, Sarawat has known Tyne since 2012. Kindly read sentences number three and four, Jess.
The squad will be at the beach for 3 days. Win bake a banana cake for an hour.
Okay, thank you. The fifth sentence and the sixth sentence, the fifth one is, we have been friends since high school. And the last sentence, he have been practicing his singing for quite a while. So now examine these sentences and share what is your observation on how the time word since and the time word for is being used in these sentences. As you could notice, the time word since and for are being highlighted with the use of different colors on the text in the sentence. So I'll give you 2 minutes or a minute to observe and examine these sentences, and you could share your observation in class. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, timer starts now. Just tell me when you are ready to share your observation, okay?
Sir, I'm ready to share my observation.
Okay, Jess, let me hear your observation or your examination on this sentences.
I observe in these sentences the time word for and since they are both used for time, but they differ with for is used for the duration time and it is compatible with different verbs, past, present, and future participles, while since is the time word that comes before a starting time, sir.
Indeed, very good. That's a keen observation, Jesselyn.
Thank you.
Um, you're right that when we use since, we are using it before a starting point of time. We are referring to a starting point of time when something began. And when we use for, usually it's followed by a duration of time or a time span of something. It measures how something lasts or how something will last. Okay? And now that I've heard that you already acquired the rules or the pattern, you already observed the pattern, you are now ready to answer the next activity, which entitled Complete Me. So as the title suggests, I'm going to present sentences, and you're going to provide the correct and appropriate time word for that sentence. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the sentence number one: Tyne has been a fan of Scrub blank 2010. For your information, Scrub is a Thai duo artist. They produce their music, and they have concerts everywhere in the
Since?
country. Okay? What do you think is the appropriate time word for this?
Since?
Yes, Jesselyn.
Since, sir.
Okay, let's see if your answer is correct. Tyne has been a fan of Scrub since 2010. So you're right. Very good. The next example or the next sentence: Bright and Win have been popular blank quite a while. Quite a while is a duration of time. Therefore, the time word used before this duration of time is, what do you think?
For, sir.
For? Very good. It's the time word for. And as we read, Bright and Win have been popular for quite a while. Okay. I'm glad that you're doing good and you're catching up the lesson. The next sentence: the series lasted blank 6 months.
Sir,
Six
sir.
months is, what do you think is the 6 months here? Is it a starting point of time or a time span?
A duration, sir. A time
Very
span.
good. It's the duration on how the series lasts, how long the series lasts. So therefore, if it's about duration, the time word used, it should be
For.
for. Very great. Very good. And then the last sentence: blank pandemic happened, casting for the new series postponed. What do you think is the proper and appropriate time word for this sentence? Which
Since,
one is
sir.
suited?
Since.
Since. Very good. Since pandemic happened, casting for the new series postponed. It's the pandemic when casting of the new series have been paused because of the pandemic. So pandemic is the starting point of time. Therefore, we should use the time word since. Very good. And now let's go to the lesson proper. The time word for, as we said and discussed earlier, it's used to measure time span. It is used to measure the duration of time and on how something lasts, how something will last, how long will something last. Okay, it's the time span. The g's there is, when you use the time word for, make sure that you are measuring the duration of time. Okay, it can be used in different tenses. It's very evident in the first activity that we have sentences with the uses of time word for, and it is used with the different tenses of verb. It's used in the past tense, in the present, and in the future. Okay, the pattern for this, of course, take note of this, that the part of for, after for. So first you need to construct subject your subject, the noun phrase, and the verb phrase. Then after you put the for, you need to follow it by a duration of time word. Okay, um it's very easy. Like after you put for, after you use for, it's followed by a duration of time when you want what you want to refer. It depends on you. Okay, then the next one is for plus number plus time word. Okay, an example of the first pattern: for plus duration of time. For, okay, I cook dinner for half an hour. Did you get it? Half an hour
Yes,
is the
sir.
duration when I made the dinner. Okay? The next pattern, 4 plus number plus time word, such as for 2 days, for 3 hours, for 4 months, something like that. It could be also for a while, for a long time, and for quite a while, something like that. It's also a duration, but with that, with those for a while, for a long time, there's no starting point of time. There's no specific starting point of time, and there's no specific end. But it measured duration, but still measured duration, and it's fine. You could use those time words also. And the other time word is the time word scenes. Okay, could you please read the first definition or the first usage of time word scenes? Yes.
Since refers to when something began.
Okay, thank you. This is what I've said earlier, that when we use scenes, we make sure that it is followed by a starting point of time. It dictates on, or it refers when something has begun. And since, unlike the time word for, it is only used rather in either perfect, present perfect, or present progressive tense. Unlike the time word since, it can be used in different tenses of verb. But when we use since, it's very limited. It restricted only with either present perfect or present progressive tense. We can't use it with the future tense, okay?
Yes, sir.
And the format for this, since plus time or date. This time or date is the starting point of time. It's very evident in the previous activity that the time it's either 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and the date is 2012, the years, months, and so on. And the next pattern or the other pattern is since plus the starting point of time. It could be since the last semester, since last week, something like that. It goes like that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Um, is it clear now to you guys on how
Yes,
to use
sir.
the time word for and the time word since? Because if it's clear, I guess you're ready to do the activity. This is just an activity to test if you really learned something. So the activity is just to construct your own sentences using the time word since and the time word for. Give at least 2 sentences with each time words. Okay, I'll give you a minute or two, and tell me when you're ready to share it, so that we
Yes,
could
sir.
validate if your answer is correct or not. Okay, timer starts now. Construct your own sentences and make sure um, you use the appropriate time word for that sentences. Also, you could use a simple sentence only, as long as you use and utilize those time words appropriately in a sentence. Okay,
Yes, sir.
2 sentences each. Tell me when you want to share now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, while constructing your own sentences, I'm gonna share mine first. My
Okay, sir.
example for the time word for and the time word since, I'm gonna use same situation na lang. So I move in an apartment in the year 2016, and now the year is 2021. I could say that I have been living in an apartment for 5 years. For 5 years now. Okay, 5 years is the duration of time where when how long I live in an apartment. Okay, and when I want to replace the time word for with the time word since, I could say that I have been living in an apartment since 2016. I indicate the starting point of time when I decided to move in an apartment and live independently. Is that clear? Do I making
Yes,
sense?
sir. Yes, sir. Sir,
Are you
my
ready?
yes, sir.
Sure, Jess.
Okay. Um, my friend lived in Spain for 3 years and then he moved out. Next, sir, we are
Mm-hmm.
going to stay in the beach for 5 days. For
Okay.
since they live in Canada since 2004 and since pandemic started, it's hard to go out.
Very good. You really, really construct a great sentences, a good sentences, and uh, I'm sure that you really learned something, and that's all. That's all. I'm glad that you learned something, that you were able to to meet those objectives of us today. And just a little reminder: time word for and the time word since is used in English language to refer time. We discussed it earlier, but take note that English language, we are all know that English language is very dynamic. Therefore, don't be shocked if you saw this two words in English conversation or in English textbook, that you that these words are not used to refer time, because these two words have another meaning, have other meaning in English language. They're not used only to refer time, but also they have different meaning and different uses in English language, because English language is very dynamic and very arbitrary. We can control that. Okay, that's a little trivia, and don't be shocked when you see this using another function. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Violent reaction?
None, sir.
Okay, so again, thank you for listening for this discussion. Let's keep on learning together. I hope you really, really learned something, and I can assure of that as you answer those activities. And now, thank you for listening. Thank you for participating, and you can leave the Zoom, and you can leave the meeting now.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Good day.
Good day.